get it. Would women really accentuate their boobs like that, especially in a formal setting like a ball?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, they want to get attention, don't they?
Yeah, but
Anyway,
I don't
to
know. For Cinders, that just seems a little weird, doesn't it?
it. Meh.
You don't think so?
Nope.
Eh.
It's
Good
an asset. You
It's
use
two
it.
assets. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to PyroFalkon's Let's Play Extravaganza, where we are playing Cinders. It's an interactive fiction game. You can get it from moacube.com. I think that's the address. It's in the video description. Check it out. We are almost done with this playthrough. This will, even though I've said it twice in a row now, this will probably be the last episode of this playthrough. My spidey sense is going off that we're right at the end of the game. In the last episode, Sophia had her shot at the prince and actually made a damn good impression, but decided she didn't want to pursue it any further, so she left, and then it was Cinder's turn, who decided to just totally knock the prince out, figuratively, of course, and here we are. And I'm sorry, the Akamura is mic'd up,
Yep, hi.
but I'm doing all the voices.
Yep.
Because now that we're 20 episodes deep, I want to do all the voices.
Maybe I'll do a playthrough and do voices?
Well, like I said, Lena has suggested that we do a second playthrough of this. So if we do, you should voice with me.
Okay.
Anyway, let's get to it. So already we have... Oh, I didn't save it. Oh, well, whatever. Already we have a typo or something here, because Lady Carmosa is saying mother is that. So unless she's talking to her dead mother's spirit somewhere, I think that was supposed to be Gloria's line. Mother, is that? Well, I'll be. Cinders? Carmosa? Girls, are you enjoying the ball? I certainly am. Bitchy. Brazen little brat! How dare you come here, show off in front of the prince like some harlot, and steal his attention away from my daughters? Oh, really? Because the girls were doing so well on their own. You know, I think it's always easier to be charming and make a good impression on people when you're relaxed and confident about what you're doing. I came here out of my own will, Carmosa, while your poor daughters only came because they either fear or don't want to disappoint you. You little... They came because they knew it's important. They came because you put the weight of your sick ambition on their shoulders and whipped them to make them go faster. The fact that you can't see your mistake makes your failure all the more tragic. Perhaps I was mistaken. Whoa. Did not expect contrition from Carmosa. Cinders, you were really amazing. Didn't expect compliments from Gloria. Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
Didn't expect Sophia to say so many positive things in one sentence.
Maybe? But especially after our earlier conversation with her, Sophia has way too soft of a side. She puts up that hardcore exterior, but she's much softer than that.
We want to find out just how soft?
Yes I do. Thanks. So what are you going to do now? Got any more surprises for this evening? If you do, then please warn us in advance or someone may have a heart attack. Cute. Surprises? What do you expect me to do? I'll just head back home. I got what I wanted, right? Besides, these shoes are killing me. What are they even made of? Blasted thing, it's the left one that almost cut my skin. Let's see if I can send you flying over the wall, shall we? There, and stay there. You just flung the shoe over the wall. I'll be going now. Take care, ladies. You know, I sort of like that twist on it, since in the original Fable she accidentally loses the shoe when she hauls ass out of there. I like the idea that she's the one who is making the shoe.
Get the fuck off my foot!
It's very it's consistent with the entire theme of the game. You know, strong women, blah blah blah.
Yeah, not only that, but it also ties into the whole make your own fate that we've built here.
Yeah, that's my point.
Yes.
But yes, anyway, I'll be going now. Take care, ladies. And there she went. Well, I'd say this has been an entertaining and very educational experience. What do you think, Gloria? Yes, I think I did learn something about myself. All of us, actually. Would you agree, Mother? A mistake. Looks like someone has just been hit with a revelation. Too bad it wasn't sooner. Good evening, Lady Carmosa. Ladies, I'm looking for Cinders. Do you know where I could find her? I just realized this whole thing would have been different if we had never met Peralt, or if we hadn't talked to him. He probably wouldn't have realized it was her. My lady? Cinders is not here, Captain. Could you tell us why you are looking for her? Royal orders. The prince would like to have a word with her. Cinders just left, Captain. She seemed to be in a hurry, too, as if trying to get back home before midnight. Haha, my slime shade. How does Peralt know who they are, unless he's just not a moron? I mean, like, okay, this is what I'm having trouble with. If the prince didn't know who any of these people were in the first place, why even bother wearing masks? But if the masks are supposedly so good that he can't tell them apart, why does Peralt know everybody?
Because Peralt's captain of the guard and that's his friggin' job.
That's true. And Peralt may just be, like, you know, not stupid. So, that would make sense. Okay, anyway. Funny, since Mother's here, and she wasn't supposed to be here at all. It isn't like she needs to make it before curfew or anything. If that lovely dress was as terrible as her shoes, maybe she just wanted to get back home and take it off as soon as possible. Her shoes? Yes, slippers. Very original design, too. She said they were awfully uncomfortable and then threw one over the wall. The other one is still here, on the ground. Oh. Slippers. Curious. Back home, later that night. You still look good, Sophia. I still can't believe she did it. I would never suspect. Of course, because everyone's as dim-witted as you are and never does anything out of the ordinary or unexpected. Gee, this conversation sounds familiar. Oh yes, and I'm sure you were able to foresee this precisely as it happened. Did you see it in the tea leaves or read it in a children's book one afternoon while avoiding work and being as useless as usual? I did entertain the thought she might do something like this if you must know, but believe what you want, I don't care. I would like to say that this is brilliant, that they're able to recycle all the conversation and make it apply to basically everything. It's vague enough to work. It's brilliant design. I too suspected she might try to do something unthinkable. She was so secretive and compliant at times. I suppose it could point to an inevitable explosion. I just didn't expect she had it in her. Gloria, please. Sometimes you sound like a cliché villain from a bad romance novel. Of course, if something's not twisted, weird, or shocking, you won't consider it honest. Not everyone is like you, Sophia. I know not everyone is. You're not. Though if you try hard like Mother, enacting the same role no matter what the situation, predictable, boring, stupid. But you are not Carmosa, remember? You do not lead, you mindlessly follow, and it shows. Shut up, you... Open up. Open up in the name of the prince. It's him! Why did he have to come? And in the middle of the night? Will the wonders never cease? I guess this night of change is not over yet. Just as your ridiculous cliché impersonations. There is no time for this now. I'm sure Mother will deal with you later. I'll go summon her. You do that. Open up. I won't repeat myself.
Don't knock the fucking door down, Peralt.
He's whipping it with his belt.
His shiny belt that he takes so much pride in.
Mother! Sophia, don't stand like that. Open the door. Let this noisy man in. Yes, Mother. Ah, Captain. What brings you here at this time of night? Spare me these false pleasantries. You know why I am here. Where is she? Very well. Sophia, get Cinders here right away. Yes, Mother. Be quick about it, child. Captain, would you fancy some wine while we wait for my lazy stepdaughter? Don't push it. You know this is not a courtesy visit. I'm afraid a lot is going to change here tonight. I brought Cinders. Oh, Captain, good evening. What brings you to our humble house in the middle of the night? Miss Cinders, did you attend the grand ball tonight? I did. Why do you ask? Shouldn't you check how she got there? Surely an almost servant like her had no proper claim to this fancy event. Ladies, please allow me to do my job. Did you dance with the prince tonight? I did. And did you wear a mask with a feather and slippers made of leather and glass? Yes. What is this about? Show him the slippers to prove you are the one. That won't be necessary. Miss Cinders, I was sent to find you by the prince. His Highness has found you the most interesting woman in the land's nobility. In the wake of the tradition of the grand ball, he would like to discuss the possibility of marriage. If you consent to these proceedings, of course. Marriage? I mean, you did very well, Cinders, but is this appropriate? Oh, who cares what's appropriate and what's not? If the prince decided coughing into someone else's soup was fine, we'd all do it. Also, as much as I love Sophia, there's that smirk again from Cinders, and now that smirk is a victory smirk. I love it. But that you impressed the prince so much? Ha! I didn't even know that you cared so much about such things, Cinders. This must be some sort of mistake. This girl has been sleeping in a dirty old kitchen for the last couple of years. The prince can't be interested in such a person. Surely you are thinking of one of my daughters. Oh, I assume there can be no mistake. Miss Cinders? How could I refuse? This is a dream come true. How could anyone refuse? A life in the palace must be amazing. As usual, you don't understand. What you speak of is like frosting on a cake. Nice, but it's not what makes this choice what it is. The prince proved to be a fascinating man, and I will try to be a good queen beside him. There's so much about ruling that I want to learn. May I escort you to the prince then, my lady? To the palace then, my lady. Of course, Captain. Goodbye, girls, Lady Carmosa. I hope to see you all someday. Perhaps. After you, Captain. There is nothing one can count on in this world. There really is nothing one can count on in this world. Everything is turning out to be different than what one might expect. How did she manage to do that? Without telling any of us, too? Does family count for nothing? Shut up, you two. How could you not notice a thing? How could you miss all of the hints as to what she was planning? And how could you lose to her? Have I taught you nothing? Where did I go wrong to make you so useless? I have clearly been mistaken about many things. Your Highness, this is the girl. Thank you, Perrault. Welcome to the palace, my lady. I trust the captain explained everything on your way here? Yes, he did, although it doesn't make it any easier to believe. Needless modesty, my lady. You certainly weren't this bashful making your entrance during the ball. In that dress, and of course the mask, I felt like I was wearing armor. I was impervious to the looks and judgments of other people. Now I'm back to my old self, and rags don't offer the same protection. Suddenly I feel like an ordinary girl standing before a prince. Ha ha ha. Ordinary is hardly among the traits you possess, which makes you exactly the person I was looking for. So, there's nothing more to say but simply pop the question, as ordinary people say. Do you agree, my lady? Oh my. Is it hot in here? No, I have to ask to be sure. Agree to what, my prince? Do you agree to become my wife and the queen of the realm? You do realize that selecting the right candidate was the purpose of the grand ball. Yes, I realize that. It's simply very difficult to believe, but... oh, heavens. Yes, of course I agree. How could I refuse? Very well. You're making me a very happy man indeed. A word of warning, though. I'm expecting my reign to be a rather turbulent one. Not all will welcome the changes I plan with open arms. We'll be facing upheavals, I'm afraid. If that means I will be needing support, counsel, and criticism from a strong and independent queen. Oh, it means I will... I'm afraid I'm not really an expert on political matters. I've read some books, but... oh, I feel so silly. Just a few hours ago it felt like I had it all figured out. And now I'm standing here, babbling like a lunatic. I hope you know what you're doing, choosing me for the part, my prince. Right now I'm nothing more than an awestruck servant girl. I mean, I don't even know you, your highness. And I really have no idea what I'm getting myself into. But for what it's worth, I agree and promise to do my best. Ha, you worry too much, my lady. Your reaction gives you more credit than you realize. Don't worry, you'll become a great queen. I am certain of it. Aww. Oh, good. Russell, almost called him Russell Crowe. Russell Brand is back for one more thing. It's you. What do you want? Charming as usual, love. Never big on the social niceties. Guess I can't blame. What do you want?
Ugh.
Me? What?
That guy.
Yes, that guy. Me? Oh, you know me. I want nothing. I've everything I need. Except some information about that pet project of yours, maybe? Listen to me, old man. I have no time to play your games. Ask me and be gone. The girl love, the little bird who wanted to fly free from her cage. Her? She's none of your business. I'd advise you to stay away from her. None of my business? Even after the small, if not crucial part I played in her personal drama? Even you must admit that I was a bloody good supportive actor, eh? That's supporting. Wait, what? What did he say? That's how I read it, I thought. Oh, supportive. Okay. That's supporting, and yes, you had your part in all of this. Alright, it doesn't really matter now anyway. If you must know, all is going to end well. I'll keep the word I gave to Cinder's mother and help her achieve the goal she chose for herself. Will you, love? That's a tad unlike the Get I remember, bending the scale's path according to your whim, playing her like she was your doll. Weren't you always the one with mouth full of those nice words like independence? Not so big on practicing what you preach, though. Oh well, methinks it must be difficult to let people make up their own mind when there's so little time. And you were in a hurry to run as usual, eh, Gad? I can see what you're trying to do here, and it isn't working. I helped the girl with making her own decision. It is hers, as will be the consequences. Ha ha! Some achievement that is. The girl's born pretty as a picture, smart as a demon, and protected by friends her mother made and bound by a dying wish. Now that's a mighty fine start for being independent and making one's own decisions. Bitterness takes the better of you, old man. How is he old? He doesn't look old at all to me. That does it, madam. That does it. Guess freedom ain't what it used to be, eh, love? Cinders broke from her stepmother's clutches and paved a new path for herself. Now she truly is free to do whatever she wishes with the rest of her life. In my book, that's a success, love. Nah, you don't really believe she can keep up that stout pose for long, now do you, love? We both know what will happen when all her crutches leave her. No Carmosa to blame and no mysterious friend to look up to. The bird will get swept in the wind. But you fulfilled the promise given to her mother, so your conscience is free. Begone, snake. I've had enough of your chatter. Oh, careful now, love. You don't make the same impression when your voice is all shaky. I must have hit a soft spot underneath all this pretty armor, eh? I need to pack. I'll be leaving soon. Now, let me be. Yes, run! Show us the strong and independent spirit you really are. You'll run out of cities one day. Huh. That was unexpected. As in the stories of old, Cinder's charms and wits helped her in getting the heart of the future king. Cinders becomes a mild and gentle queen, known for her beauty, kind heart, and love of peace. A pretty jewel on the royal crown, but not much more. While she is adored by her people, she's not strong or decisive enough to give her husband the support he needs to push forward with his reforms. With the Prince Basil unable to realize his plans, the situation in the kingdom stagnates, and eventually turns for worse. While Cinders is the wife of the new king and they rule together, love never sprouts between them. Focused on her role, she lives a lonely life among the crowds. There's no space for personal happiness in the existence of a queen. Hardships of her life taught Cinders not to trust anyone but herself. She makes her own decisions without relying on any advisors. The court life fully absorbs the young queen, and she loses contact with her old family. Lady Carmosa and her daughters never visit the palace. From what Cinders heard, the the situation in the household turns for worse after her stepmother's bitter defeat. They live their lives in seclusion, isolated from the rest of the noble society. Years later, Cinders and her sisters meet at Lady Carmosa's funeral. They don't exchange a single word. Whoa. And it just stops.
That sucks.
Holy shit. That's depressing.
Very much so.
And unexpected.
Maybe if you want to get the most out of the palace route, you have to be an indignant little shit.
I guess. Well, I sort of was indignant. That was the thing. Like, that ending is basically saying that because Cinders didn't trust anyone, because if you remember, like, most of the decisions were somewhat selfish in nature. Like, she refused to accept the fairy's help. She refused to accept Ged's help at first. She had to be dragged to do the things that, you know, to get the advice. So, and she, remember, I had her rebel against both sisters at some point, and she never really got super close to them. Wow. That was awesome. Ooh. Okay, guys, let me know in the comments if you would like to see a second run-through of this game. I'm definitely going to do a second run-through. But if you guys think that I should do a second run-through for the channel, let me know. I will have the Akamura do voices as well. I'm actually sort of floored that the ending went in that direction. I really am. But that's awesome. Okay. Anyway. Thanks for watching, everyone. Tune in tomorrow on the channel for something new, or different at least. Yeah. That was really unexpected. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. And vote in the comments if you want me to do another run of this.
Yes, with my voices this time.
Yes. Either way, definitely buy the game. Link is in the video description. Have a good one, guys.
Yay! That was a little depressing one.